Hey you guys, welcome back to LA Show. Tonight we are going to talk about the untimely demise of Nipsey Hussle. Um, First of all, let me give my condolences to the family of Nipsey. Let's be respectful here. I do see a lot of people getting paid off of this. And, I don't want no money off of this type of situation right here. This is really sad. And once you hear the background and the twists and turns in this story, you will understand how unfortunate this is for our community. Um so without further ado, I'm going to speak a little bit about Nipsey Hussle, speak a little bit about the day that he passed away, and go into some more information and also some questions. So stay tuned. Okay, Nipsey Hussle. His real name is Ermias Ashkadam. He was 33 years old, and his birthday was on August 15th of 1985. He was a rapper, a philanthropist, an activist, a business owner. His wife or girlfriend, that hasn't been confirmed if that's his wife or not yet, Lauren London, she you could tell she really loved that man. And Black Sam is his brother, and I do not know his sister's name. But he really did love his sister. He has two kids, an older daughter and a younger son by Lauren London. He is from the motherland. He is Eritrean American. So he's from Eritrea, which is a small place in Africa. Another thing that I noticed that's been going around is that he is a gang member, Rolling 60s Crip. So that's something that's been, of course, shoved down our throat for what it's worth. But let's fast forward to March 31st of 2019. Nipsey Hussle was allegedly at home. He got a phone call from someone. We are unsure of who that is. And they told him that a friend of his has gotten out of jail from doing 20 years. So Nipsey Hussle found it in his heart to go out of his way, get up and head out to his store, the Marathon Clothing Store on Crenshaw Ave in Slauson, um, and go give his friend clothes. And from what we understand, the friend that he gave clothes to was Carrie Lathan, and also they were very close. It was alleged that Carrie Lathan had recently got out of jail like a couple of days before this incident took place, and Nipsey Hussle was kind enough to do this act. So he goes there, and from what we understand or what we can see, right up at the point that he is shot on camera, which is what TMZ put out, um, that there is a man running up to Nipsey Hussle. He has on a black shirt. He runs up to Nipsey, and this is from what we can see on the camera. And he approaches Nipsey really quickly, rapidly, shoots him, and then Nipsey falls to the ground. You can see Nipsey try to get back up, and then all of a sudden, the guy comes back into the frame. So he runs off, he comes back, shoots Nipsey some more, runs off, comes back, and then kicks Nipsey upside the head and runs off out of the view. And some people are saying that he ran into an alley, which is located behind Nipsey's store. Um, that is something that we will also dig deeper into. But this is what happened when Nipsey tried to go and do this good deed for his friend that had just gotten out of jail. So Nipsey was shot at 3:25 p.m. Over there on the West Coast time frame, and two other people were shot with him. The guy that he went to go give the clothes to, Kerry Lathan, and a man named Shermy Villanueva. So they are saying that there is a suspect after this in a white car. I do believe they said it was a white Nissan. And they're saying that it was driven by a woman. And also, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the day after Nipsey was shot, April 1st, they put out an article. You can search it on the internet. They said it was a woman driving the car that Eric Holder, who was now being announced as the suspect, Eric Holder got back into that car and there was another person in the back seat. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that is something that we do need to kind of pay attention to. But when we get into the driver, she gets off. She's gone. We have nobody knows what's going on with her. Nobody. And I'm talking specifically to my West Coast people because nobody knows too much about Eric. Nobody knows too much about the driver. People are saying that Eric Holder's family got touched. Well, how do y'all know this and are not able to contest to what kind of person Eric Holder is? I don't see anything. All I see on the internet now are random sites or pages being made supporting Eric Holder. Shitty cuz. So that's something else we need to think about as well. So TMZ was on this like white on rice, of course. At LA Crimes was a Twitter post that I saw. Shooter got close before opening fire. Shooter is believed to have a gang affiliation that isn't a rival. The dispute is personal, and that is what was reported the day after Nipsey was deceased. So we get into Eric Holder, Shitty Cuz, and let's just talk about him for a little while. He was announced the day after the shooting. He is a aspiring rapper. So if you haven't looked him up already, I suggest you guys do. The people that really are researching this and the ones that aren't just talking out the side of their necks. He is an aspiring rapper. I don't know how old he is. I think they said 29, something like that. And he is a Rolling 60s Crip member. He goes by Shitty Cuz and also Fly Mac, FLYMAC. He is being held. As you all know, he got caught 36 hours after the shooting. So we don't know where he was that 36-hour time frame. But he wound up getting caught in Bellflower, California. And he was just walking around aimlessly in the street in the daytime, and he was caught allegedly at a mental facility. Now, it is discrepancies in the story on if he was trying to go in there and check himself in. That has not been proven. So we're not going to speculate on this channel. So we're going to move on. When Eric Holder was caught 36 hours after the shooting, he was placed on a $7 million bail, which was then reduced to a $5 million bail. And we were able to see in surprise that he was being represented, by Christopher Darden. Now, if anybody knows anything about court or lawyers, Christopher Darden is a really good lawyer, and he has done a lot of work for that OJ case. So, you know, they really tried to win that case. If y'all didn't know, like, the prosecution was on OJ by the skin of his teeth, but luckily he had the right defense. That's all I'm going to say. and he got off. And I'm not saying that he was guilty or not guilty, but the prosecution was gunning for him, and Christopher Darden was one of the people in the prosecution. So I'm sorry, I got all kinds of notes going on here. So we did see, allegedly, because we don't know who was in that video shooting that gun at Nipsey. We saw Eric Holder run up, shoot Nipsey, dip off, come back and shoot Nipsey again, dip off again, and then he turned back around, it seemed like, and kicked Nipsey in the head and ran off screen into the alley. Now, from what I understand about the logistics of this store, the parking lot is shaped in an L. So he must have went back around the back of the building where he came from and went into a back alleyway. Now, was that planned? Was that staged? Let's get into that getaway driver. We don't know who she is. First of all, TMZ is the one who broke that they were the ones who spoke with her. And they were the ones who actually spoke with her. So TMZ found a receipt from an auto shop, and they were able to trace it back to her car and give her a phone call. That's when she decides 2 days after Nipsey is dead to turn herself into the police, and she allegedly spoke to the LA County Police Department, and she was released after her statement. So, it's certain things in this situation that are really confusing off top. How was she able to be let go? She was an accomplice in a crime. Regardless of what happened, Nipsey was dead after she pulled up with this man. So that's just bottom line. Now, I'm still concerned because I have it written down in my notes that there was a third person in the back seat of this car that they were driving in. So y'all have to please try to get that information and verify it in the older articles that first came out on Nipsey. Because I know I wrote that down in my notes on the April 1st. I have it right here in my notes. So, the getaway driver, a ghost, just like Eric Holder. When I did the Trinity Love Jones case, I typed in Trinity Love Jones' mother and the boyfriend and was able to get their arrest records, was able to see all kinds of information on these people. But when you type in Eric Holder's name, that's not the case. And I'm trying to figure out why there is this narrative that he had recently got out of jail as well. So, hey, it doesn't make sense that he is not able to be found. So, now we get to a very interesting person in this situation, and that is Cowboy. His real name is Herman Douglas. This is Nipsey's closest friend, allegedly, and his business partner. Now, I don't know what part of business he really played in the Marathon clothing store or any other type of major business that Nipsey had. But from what I understood in the documentary, from what he explained, is that he helped start Nipsey's music career. He helped pay for studio time by selling by basically not buying himself a car. His mom had given him some money to buy a car, and he decided to put money into a studio for Nipsey. And then he had been arrested after that for 10 years. And I guess he's recently got out of jail and been beside Nipsey ever since. So, the day Nipsey was shot, Eric Holder was seen after the shooting in the glass window just looking around like nothing happened. He didn't cry at all. And he still ain't cried talking about Nipsey, which is really, really sad. to see. But um, yeah. So his new nickname also is Fishy Cuz, because he is just on some weird stuff. So the day that Nipsey was shot on March 31st, um, we were surprised to see Cowboy on the news, a gang member, talking about Nipsey's death and how the man, Eric Holder, the suspect, came up to Nipsey and was talking about his mixtape. And then all of a sudden, Nipsey, you know, was ambushed by this man. And Cowboy thinks this is because of hate and jealousy. Not once did Cowboy say that this man was a snitch. Um, I didn't hear that come out of his mouth. Um, but he left to get a burger and then he heard gunshots 3 seconds later. So that was his first statement. Also, did you notice in the video where his shirt was black on the inside of the window? And then when he was outside giving the statement, he had on a blue tank top, which was really weird. Um, so he was arrested at the first vigil for Nipsey. He was arrested for knocking somebody out. um, but today, April 12th, he pops back up on the scene giving a interview to Entertainment Tonight. Yeah, Entertainment Tonight. And he discussed the incident with them again. And he added on that he helped with trying to revive Nipsey at the scene, which is something that he didn't say in the first statement. He didn't look like he had any blood on him, and he didn't look disheveled. He wasn't crying or upset or anything. So I want you to tell me how much you really helped with Nipsey being dead. And if you guys know anything about this story, you know that his brother, Big Sam, got the call that Nipsey was shot by Nipsey and came to help his brother running out of his grandmother's home. Um, so we didn't hear Big Black Sam say anything about Cowboy helping Nipsey when he was trying to be revived. I didn't see anybody come out on the video. Did you guys? I didn't. I didn't see anybody. But hey, if you guys did, let me know. And also, if Cowboy wants to come on my show, you know, and talk to me about what happened, I'll be more than happy to have you here. I got some questions for you for sure. For sure. So then we get into another player in the Nipsey Hussle case. That's the black Audi truck. So that's another player because first of all, that car, if you notice, in that type of parking lot, that car was double parked. So why would you, like, first of all, that's rude, but second of all, why would you double park your car in a parking lot like that at a time like this? People are saying that the license plates are suspicious on that car, and also that there is a suspicious type of light on that car that may indicate that it is uh, a marked car, unmarked car. Um, However, the woman or male who gets out of the car runs out of the car while the man is shooting, runs back to the car when Eric Holder was supposed to be running away, but then we know he comes back. So she runs back out of the car, acts like she's going to put the car into gear when she gets back in, and then she runs back out. So she ran in and out the car like twice, two or three times, and she never goes anywhere. So I'm trying to figure out who that person was because you saw everything go down. Why aren't you on the news with Cowboy like, oh my God, why? Why? So that brings me to a couple of questions that I have. And before I get to those questions, I just want to tell y'all the observatory facts of the case. First of all, we do know that the fact of the matter is that this is an uncontrolled crime scene. We saw people out around Nipsey Hussle while he was trying to be revived by firefighters in that video. Somebody was standing right there with a video camera recording Nipsey trying to be revived. The key witness, who is Cowboy, is out on well, he changed his clothes first of all. If you notice, he had on that black shirt in the window, like I said. And then when he's giving that interview on the news, he's in a blue tank top. And it's just, that doesn't make any sense to me. He's a witness. He should have been taken off the scene. He should have been questioned. His narrative doesn't match what we see. So for optics, the narrative that he went inside and left Nipsey for about 3 seconds doesn't make any sense, because we don't see anybody fitting Cowboy's description out there when we see Eric Holder, unless you guys did. Unless you saw that little cowboy hat bopping in that store getting his burger. I didn't see that. Optics. The third white car that we saw, where a man got out of it in the midst of the shooting. That car was missing when we saw the crime scene images. We don't see that white car anymore, which is really weird. And for another thing, the video we see now has been very heavily edited, and that can be confirmed. A lot of people have went and took their time. A lot of dedicated YouTubers have took their time to confirm that that video we see is edited. It's supposed to be in a whole nother angle, and I can prove that to you guys. Also, there is a lot of people, like I stated in the beginning of the video, that are making money off of Nipsey's death. You know, whether you're selling things, whether you're trying to sell his tickets to his funeral, whether you were trying to sell merchandise, you know, the money that you may get, it won't go far. Put it that way. And, you know, that just leads me to more questions. Way more questions than there are answers right now. Which is really, really sad. Really sad. I'm sorry, you guys. I have a new dog. So, questions. Shitty Cuz, or Eric Holder, or Fly Mac, whatever you want to call yourself. Why can't Eric Holder be found in LA County arrest records? That's question number 1. If I can search Trinity Love Jones information on her parents, I should be able to search Eric Holder in LA County. And if he's an ex-felon, if he just recently got out of jail, we should be able to confirm that. The driver. Why did you wait that long to turn yourself in? Did you not hear the gunshots? Were you not aware of Eric Holder running back to your car? Because he was running at full speed. I assume that he jumped in at full speed as well. That whole narrative that she didn't know what was going on is nonsense. And wherever they have her, trust me, you'll never find her again. Hopefully, maybe you will. We have to wait until the court date, which isn't until, I think, May is like probably his arraignment, and then he'll go back for trial sometime later this year, hopefully, because I'm going to try to really zone in on this ghost guy, Eric Holder, who just so happens to be the Attorney General's name, too. Another question. Why is Eric Holder pleading not guilty? There's a rumor going around that he's saying that he was paid $75,000 by the LAPD, and that's why he's claiming he's not guilty. And I can guarantee you this, if he's saying that, then that's going to lead to a lot more things in his court case. So keep that in mind. Another question. Why aren't people coming out speaking on behalf of Eric Holder? Why aren't people saying that they knew him in the neighborhood, or that he's known? He's so known to everybody. Why isn't anybody saying anything about who this guy was in the neighborhood? To have a name Shitty Cuz, you got to be a pretty shitty individual. Just putting that out there. So, is there anybody that can contest to who Eric Holder is, or his family members being killed? Can anybody say anything about that? Because I want to know more about this guy. When I search his name, all I get is the Attorney General. So it's just mighty convenient that that's who this is. um, why is Cowboy speaking to the media? And if you don't have anything to hide, Cowboy, I would love to interview you. I would love to know what happened that day. So I'm definitely giving you a platform to come and park your little self on, and we can definitely discuss what is going on. Because this doesn't make any sense, right? This man had a family to feed. He was building businesses. He was building hope in that community. So we definitely want to uplift his name as much as possible. So if you want to talk, come talk to me. Black media. Why isn't anyone else giving interviews, such as the people that were shot? But we do know today that Kerry Lathan has recently been arrested because he was allegedly violating his probation by even being around Nipsey, being around convicted felons, and they have locked him up today. I just heard about that an hour ago. So that's kind of tore up too, because that's another person that we can't talk to. And we don't know how injured the other guy was. So that may be a reason why he doesn't want to speak. Um, what about that black Audi? We got her license plate. Why can't we find her? I want to talk to her too. I would love to understand her logic in running back and forth to that car, putting it in gear, and not going anywhere. You're just blocking somebody from getting out of there. That's what you're doing. And I would love to talk to you about that. Um, Also, the woman watching out the window after the whole situation is done, and Nipsey is, I guess, being treated. They're just standing there in the window, and there's one woman, I think she had on a blue top and like some shorter hair or something like that, or braids. I'm not too sure. But she's just standing there looking like, yeah, I know what's going on. I saw everything. And I want to talk to you too. I just want to get a real clear understanding of what's going on, because, like, the title of this story is going to be Organized Confusion. You know, I've had a lot of help with this case. I really do appreciate, everybody that's taking the time to sit back and talk to me, go over this with me. And, our work won't be for nothing. And I definitely do hope you guys take the time out to think about my questions, think about this situation and how this may have affected you or your life. And, not too many people knew about Nipsey Hussle. He was more so of an underground artist. He recently was nominated for a Grammy for his Victory Lap album, which was awesome. So he was about to get the recognition he deserved, be put on a higher platform. And also the Dr. Sebi documentary that he was talking about making, that would have put him on another platform as a philanthropist and activist that he was. He really did care about his people. His other company was Vector G, and that was located somewhere in that neighborhood that helped people with coding, and it was a good place for business startups and tech company um, within his community. So we have to think about this. This is a brother that really did come together and try to unify gangs in LA, which is something that they have been trying to do for years. So, the impact on his death could really spark something. And I don't think people really understand that. Um, I think people just want to sensationalize this when it's really cut and dry. We all know what happened, and LA County has said it themselves that this is an assassination. This is what they've called it themselves. So clearly, it's an assassination. We need to get down to the bottom of it. And we also would like to see those tapes from out in front of his store. If we're going to be able to identify Eric Holder, or, go with the narrative that Cowboy is giving us, and also see who else is in that car, in those cars, that black Audi and that white car that disappeared. We need a better look at things. So we know that there is surveillance cameras, but we don't know if they're working. We haven't heard too much about that. So hopefully that will come out as well sometime soon. And just let's stay informed. I see a lot of people talking about this type of stuff, and I really, really do want you guys' opinion, your thoughts. So please comment down below, like, share, and I do appreciate you guys for coming on to LA Show. Thank you.